welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. Been a few days since I've been back on. Hope you guys enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend. Those of you United States listeners probably had a barbecue. Maybe, hopefully, got out and had some sun. Hopefully, you did something. I don't know. Enjoy the time and stuff like that. Had a good time. I didn't do nothing. I sat around the house, got some relaxation after last week going back and forth. Bunch of VA appointments and stuff like that, doing different things. So taking care of the kids. My son, his team, they ended up winning their uh, championship for their little basketball league, so that was good. Kind of excited because I was just excited that they both my kids went on undefeated teams and they won a little championship. And yeah, this is just a glimpse, a snapshot of their long, maybe athletic career or just long list of accomplishments in which they will have. But it's like they already won more things than I ever won growing up as a kid. I mean, my son has already played more basketball than I ever got a chance, or organized basketball than I ever got a chance to as a kid. Because these leagues and stuff, they weren't really open. It was just like local Lakeland, city of Lakeland recreation league, stuff like that. So it wasn't really, it was like once a year. And then like my son plays at, both my kids actually play at YMCA. And then so we have two YMCAs here in Lakeland. And I don't, at me growing up as a kid, I don't even remember YMCA being there. I heard about it and stuff, but my dad was like, oh, I don't think we could afford it then. That's why I'm sitting there thinking, I don't even know about, I don't even know what was the money then. I just don't think nobody paid no attention to it because you thought you had to be a member. I don't even know that was when that changed or anything like that. So I was like, whatever. I just know I still practice all the time by myself, anyways. But it's good to see a lot of programs being offered to kids. A lot of times it's Christians, or to be honest with you, man, I'm not. Because a lot of times religious organizations, churches, let's say YMCA, Christian organization, my dog plays at a church league. Like these are the only places that are going on because even through the whole so-called pandemic, the COVID, during all this stuff, whatever, the city of Lakeland, I think they closed down a lot of the city government recreation facilities, stuff like that, so the kids weren't able to play. But don't worry, these churches and stuff like that had leagues going on, so there you go. It is what it is. But yeah, besides that, we had a good weekend. Everything was good, and then I got what, a few months off. Actually, I don't. I mean, a few months off for school for the kids. Don't have to worry about certain things waking up too early, or making sure that they wake up on time and get ready and stuff. I don't have to worry about that. But son got basketball camps, and then a couple weeks off, and then they're back up. He's playing basketball. My daughter's playing indoor soccer. Gotta keep kids active, man. Gotta keep kids active. Like both my kids love to play sport. Thank you. Thankfully, they're both athletic and they both love competition. So I'm very appreciative of that. And that means I don't have to make them like, hey, you get out and do this. Gotta get out there. I gotta be, So my daughter's trying to do a million different things anyway. She wants to do cooking classes. She already did dancing. She's all over the place. And my son he's sticking to his guns, video games and basketball. So can't even get mad because that's exactly what I've done my whole life. So it is what it is. Over the weekend, you see some things going down in cryptocurrency, stock markets, and stuff like that for the world's economy. Inflation is rising. Like, and shit like this doesn't do nothing but make inflation go even higher. And this is a article from NBC News via MSN website. It says Biden's $6 trillion budget proposal calls for surge in domestic spending, higher taxes. Like I said, man, like I've been focusing more on economics, still following the things was going on in Arizona, Maricopa County. And I think they start their third shift of audit today. That's still going on. I think Georgia has their audits going on. So they're slowly the mainstream media is not talking about it, but information is coming out. What we all talked about last fucking year. But we're all conspiracy theorists. Oh, the Wuhan lab, no shit. Of course it fucking happened in Wuhan. Where do you think the virus came from? I mean, I don't know what type of level of genius intellect you have to have in order to see this obvious shit. But here you go. The fortified election from the Time magazine article, clearly that shit was rigged. Of course it's rigged. Why would you not rig an election? If you want to win the shit, what are you going to do? You're going to guarantee you win something by cheating because these people are already cheaters and liars. But once again, you got to look at things from an economic perspective. When in business and money, resources, economy, when that is involved, all rules are off the table, man. You do what you ever need to do in order to attain what you want to attain. Like we keep thinking that everybody has to play by these nice rules and everything is fair. I tell my kids all the time, like, life ain't fair. What my parents told me, life ain't fair. And you can't expect shit to be fair. Because not everybody's thinking on that same premise that, oh, this needs to be fair. Some savages out there, man. There's some wild fucking people out there. It is what it is. So you have this whole $6 trillion budget next year that would greatly ramp up domestic spending and raise taxes on corporations and the wealthiest Americans. What do you think is going to happen? I brought it up before. What do you think will happen, though? Like, you think those corporations and the wealthy Americans, you think they're just going to sit back and take the taxes up their ass? Fuck no. They're going to move their money somewhere else. They're going to take it out of American corporations. They're going to take it out of the stock market. You see the crackdown on crypto coming because they know people are going to move stuff around. I mean, the mob, the organization called the United States government is going to make sure that they get their money's worth. They're going to make sure that they get what they want everyone's money. They want a hand in the cookie jar. Trying to make sure that they get, oh, you got some money? Oh, don't worry. Hey, let me get some of that. Yeah, you got to pay me. That's how they do it, man. That's how the racketeering business works. It says presidential budgets are crafted chiefly to be messaging documents outlining priorities and blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Biden's first full budget recommendations include sweeping new proposals he has already introduced, including trillions on infrastructure, free pre-K. That's just early indoctrination, man. Free pre-kindergarten. That's just early indoctrination. Just be honest. That's all it is. How can we get to your kids earlier to indoctrinate them into thinking where we want to think? Critical race theory, this new mathematical systems they make up, whatever. It doesn't matter, man. You gotta strip away all the bullshit that goes on in the world. All the social justice issues, all the things that we care about each other, all that stuff is bullshit, man. Only thing that matters is money. Because if money didn't exist, a majority of our social issues wouldn't even be a thing. Wouldn't be there at all. Our biggest thing, though, is money. So you have a part of society that is worried about other things and issues, social justice, social, societal issues. Care about each other, worry about infrastructure, all this other stuff. But those at the top, those I don't want to say top, perceived top of the pyramid, those who really understand the game is which has been created by humans and played and stuff is money, economy, resources. That's what it's about. And when you start to look through that lens of perspective, everything starts to make sense. You no longer. I've been humbled these past few years through dealing with different things in the military, dealing with the VA, going to school. I've been humbled a lot because I realized I always knew I didn't know shit. But I come to realize the things I thought I knew, or the things I thought I cared about, the things I thought that mattered, doesn't fucking matter. Right? And I realized really what took my biggest hit. I was always a person that I take everything personal. You talk about me, the person, especially more or less in a local perspective, like somebody at school, somebody at work, and stuff like that. But I come to realize, and I probably always knew, but I just didn't want to admit to it because my ego wouldn't let me admit to it. It's never personal. Even in your personal relationships, it's never personal because no one even fucking cares enough about you, really, to even make things personal. They're more concerned about themselves. They might be mad at you, but they really just mad about themselves. Everything is just a reflection of their own ego. So we were talking about things that go on the government, things that go on with corporations, taxes, all of the infrastructure. None of the shit is personal. They don't really care about people. And if they shit on someone's life, if they kill someone, say medical and stuff, you don't get the right treatment and you die, they don't care. It's just business, man. This is all just business. And there's the cost of doing business. That's it. That's it. They'll go to say community college and increases a range of domestic programs aimed at boosting public health and programs for the poor. That's bullshit, bro. That's bull. That's bullshit. Notice how they led with, free education. Education. I mean, if you can pay for the internet, bam, you got all the education right there you need in the world. You take your ass to the library, damn, you got all the education right there you need in the world. Like of course, you want to give education amongst other members of the population and society because the next generation will obviously be the fucking future. So you can't empower the next generation unless you forgive them some type of knowledge. Yet, your best universities are private universities in which you gotta pay thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to. So all you're going to see is now free education is going to be what has always been in the United States of America, shitty education. And then those that have the money for, or those able to pay for it, or those who know how to make money and make it work for them and get all these other programs and grants or whatever, go to these more expensive places, or maybe go through one of these choice program, public schools, stuff like that. Anything outside of the traditional, not traditional, of the typical public forum in which they're trying to provide education and stuff, you're good. You're good. Yeah, like me, what I do, I said before, what I do with my kids, I sit there, I try to teach them something every day, even something small. Like wherever I learn that day, hey, look what I learned today, or hey, I know about this. I don't think I told you about this. Yeah, you can figure this out. Stuff like that. Me and my parents talking the other day. Like I didn't even realize I went to this one high school because I was trying to play basketball my senior year. Tried out, of course, I didn't make it. uh, Otherwise, I would have said something about it before. But yeah, the guy was like, "Oh yeah, you're just small. You're a small, skinny guy. You're fast, but I already got some guys like that on the team. They're a little bit bigger than you. That's basically what it came down to. Hey, it is what it is. I was 5'7", whatever. You take it. It is what it is. Not everybody knows about basketball. Not like none of these coaches ever turned out to be great coaches or anything like that anyway. So what the fuck do they know? But the school I went to, my senior year of high school, in order for me to go in that school, I had to go into the finance program. And even at the time, I was like, man, whatever. Me and my parents we all knew it was just an excuse just so I could get to school and whatever. And I could have went to like a Christian school or something like that and played on the basketball team long before then. But oh no, it was my junior year. It wasn't my senior year. It was my junior year. I was like, something's off about this story. It was my junior year I did this. But me and my parents knew that it wasn't my sophomore year. No, it was my junior year. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, yeah. Anyways, me and my parents knew that I was going there for whatever reason and stuff. Really, just trying to see if I could play basketball or whatever. It didn't matter. One public high school to another public high school, but the finance program, I ended up doing accounting classes and learning about stocks and stuff. And I was telling my parents yesterday, I was like, everything happens for a reason. It really does. And me and my mom talk about this often. But it's like, and my dad too, he's like, guys got a plan, something like that. And it's like, wow, this is wow, because if it wasn't for me going to that, I would have never been where I'm at now as far as economy and crypto trading and being in the stock market and stuff like that. Because it was just, and I just learned basic stuff. Because that basic stuff, no one fucking teaches you. No one knows about. Like, if your parents don't know, that's it. No one knows this shit. They don't teach this in school. They don't really teach accounting. I learned how to do accounting. I learned how to balance a checkbook, write a check. They don't teach that shit in school. Those are skills that you need to learn. Yet I had to go to a certain school for their little program that they had. And those were one of my favorite classes in school. In my junior year, was it my junior year? Yeah, junior and senior year, I had to have those classes and stuff. Learn about accounting, learn how to look up stocks and understand the stock market. I mean, and actual read newspaper letters. God, this makes it sound old, but I mean, the internet was around. We had it in class though too. But it's like it showed us how to read the stock market. So the first time I looked at the stock market and numbers and stuff, but just newspaper articles, going to the certain part of the newspaper and looking up those different things. They'll teach this stuff. So when you talk about a free education, stuff like that, they're not gonna give that shit. They're not gonna teach people how to. They're not gonna teach young kids how to make money. They're not gonna teach young kids how to invest. Even with this crypto market right now, they're not teaching nobody how to invest. They don't care. They want everybody to jump in Dogecoin or wherever else, spend up a bunch of money and stuff, and then they crash the market. They get everybody to sell. They laugh at everybody that sells, and then they buy up the dip and stuff, and then they push the market back up. Classic manipulation. I'm not even mad at that. Like, I used to be mad at all this stuff, the 1%ers and all. I used to be mad, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not mad. Because that's the game that they're playing. You want to play their game? You think they're going to tell you the rules to their game and how to play and how to succeed and how to win? Fuck no. They're not going to tell you how to win. Nah, you're not their friends. You're not their family members. They're like, oh, you want to figure it out? You figure that shit on your own. Nah, because guess what? They're too busy trying to win themselves. And in order for them to win even more, they got to use you as pawns. And like you're a fucking idiot so they can make money off of you. This is how the games go. It's not personal. And that's one of the most humblest things I had to come to realize over these past few years, that it's really not personal. When they talk about sex or religion or race, creed, all that stuff, they don't care. Ethnicity, what national background you're from, they don't care. When you're talking about money, that's all that matters. Anything else is just a ploy just to hide the fact that all they care about is the money. That's it. They don't care who they oppress. They don't care who they put down. They don't give a shit about any of this. None of these infrastructures that to help the poor, public health, none of that shit, man. It's about money. It's about money. It's about controlling the resources and the economy. That's it. It goes on to say, as Biden outlined on the campaign trail as president, oh, it's a stupid ass somewhere. All right. He would pay for the spending increases by raising taxes on corporations and the country's highest earners. You really think a corporation will sit here and get taxed out their ass, bro? Fuck that. If I'm a corporation, I'm leaving. I'm like, fuck you, America. I'm leaving. Because no, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying your taxes. I'll go somewhere else, but I ain't gotta pay taxes. It says, but even with higher taxes, his proposed budget would run a $1.8 trillion deficit in 2022. Officials reiterated that Biden would not impose new taxes on individuals making below $400,000. He's going to have to. You understand that? They'll probably spin a narrative like, oh, well, we got to do this stuff because we have to care about every American and stuff. And some Americans are really struggling, even though all this stuff was done by design, right? It's all to bring in socialism or communism, totalitarian. Got to bring in digital dollar. Got to be able to track everybody's money. Universal basic income. That's all the shit is done by design. So it's nothing new. There's nothing special that they're doing. It's just all these fake, false ass narratives around and stuff, trying to make you feel inclined to what's going on is beneficial to you, the individual, or you, the group of people, whether you're poor or you're the minority or whatever bullshit they try to throw out there. It says, quote, the budget invests directly in the American people. It's a lot. And will straighten our nation's economy and improve our long-run fiscal health, Biden said in a letter to Congress accompanying the proposal. Understand this. Simple basic economics means you can't print money out the fucking ass. You can't just keep printing and printing and printing. Because the more you print, you increase the money supply. When money supply goes up, prices go up, and the demand is not up for it. Obviously, prices go up on food and gas and all this other stuff. You have inflation. If there's no demand for the dollar, guess what? Nobody's fucking using the dollar. As sanctions increase and stuff like that too on Russia and other nations around the world, even more, there's no reason to use a dollar. And with this more fiscal, not fiscal, budget spending and keep printing money and stuff, all it does is make the dollar go even weaker. That's it, man. You can't just, economy is nothing. You can't have unlimited supply of something. That means the value of it means nothing, because if you could always just make more money out of nowhere, then the whole sound economics principle is just pointless. There's no foundation to it. What always gives gold its value is the fact that you can use gold in certain things, and there's only X amount of it, right? You can only mine so much of it until we start mining asteroids and comets and shit like that. Then gold wouldn't be as much; it'll be something else we're going after and stuff. I mean, hell, if you want, I would say you can't do stuff like water, but what you're trying to do, you can't. What the thing with fiat currency is that it's not finite, right? It's infinite. They just keep printing money and keep printing money and keep printing money. They can print up money for everybody, but it doesn't do nothing but cause a ripple effect. To say it like that, but that's what it does, cause an effect where you keep printing a bunch of money, everything, the prices of everything going up. So people they always want to talk about increasing minimum wage, stuff like that. Okay, you increase the minimum wage, guess what's going to happen? Everybody prices is going to go up. Everyone's price is going to go up because, like, hey, well, since you got this higher wage, so you're able to pay these higher prices, so, right? This company, this, and maybe it's not Amazon, maybe it's not McDonald's, but maybe it's a local food chain, a grocery store that maybe it's in just a certain region, wherever the case may be. And they're like, man, now I gotta pay this higher wage. Well, guess what? I'm increasing prices somewhere. I'm either increasing prices somewhere, or I'm cutting off somebody else, or I'm doing both. A nice balance where I increase prices slowly, because you don't notice it. Nobody pays attention when all of a sudden their food is up 1 cent. Nobody pays attention when all of a sudden their prices for food is up 2 cents. I remember McDonald's had a dollar menu. Then that bitch changed, so all of a sudden there is no dollar menu now. A McDouble is $1.25. What? I mean, you get a whole bunch of double cheeseburgers for like $5, man. Like you have those meals and stuff where not even that, like nuggets less than $1, 6-piece nuggets less than $1, a double cheeseburger less than $1. I remember sodas being 25 cents, 50 cents, candy being 50 cents. Look at this shit. Now the same bag of Skittles will give you $1.25. That's insane. The bag of Skittles didn't increase. No, it's just the cost of the prices increasing. Inflation. Talk about this all the time. Check out Venezuela. Hyperinflation. You see what happens to people's currency in the nation when you just keep printing money out the fucking ass. They know this isn't sound economics. Like, if anybody that pays attention to money knows you cannot do this. Just go back in history. All the past governments that have ever had fiat currency, it never fucking lasts. Like they know the system is designed to fail. They just had to wait until time where technology and everything got into place where now you have digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, where it be digital currencies on a blockchain, or just digital currencies in general. Hopefully, they make a finite and now try to make it infinite and have a whole bunch of it and stuff. But well, we'll see. It goes on to say, "quote: It reforms our broken tax code to reward work instead of wealth." That's a false statement. While also fully paying for the American Jobs Plan and the American Families Plan over 15 years, it will help. It will help us build a recovery that is broad-based, inclusive, sustained, and strong. End quote. I don't even know what to say anymore. This is like the worst fucking thing to do. I always thought like Trump was a double agent or something like that, or he was controlled opposition where he was coming in designed to destroy the economy. I liked him a little bit better for the economy than Biden, but at the same time, a lot of shit is still stupid anyways. But I don't know. You try to see things play out, but this shit right here, this is just bad economic principles. Like you just don't do this stuff, man. And I said you don't even have to. So many people don't know how money works and stuff. And it's not even that complicated. You just knowing the basic information. One, just knowing the fact that money doesn't exist at all, that they're just literally making shit up. Right there means the game is wherever they decided to be. The rules are wherever they decided to make the rules. They being those unknown plural of people that we can't really tie names to, but let's be honest. It's your IMF, right? Your Bank of International Settlements, European Union, European Central Bank, my fault, the Federal Reserve Bank, J.P. Morgan's, your Goldman Sachs. It's all the Bank of England. It's all these banks. It's all these banks, man. It's all these banks. Their business is money. And if everybody's lives revolve around money, then guess who has the power? The people that are controlling the supply of money, and the people that are saying, hey, no, this isn't money, this is money. And you see with the SEC lawsuit with Ripple, they're saying, oh, XRP is a security. And Ripple's like, no, XRP is used as a utility, as a token, and it can be used as a currency. We all know what it is. If you're paying attention, you know it's not fucking security. But it doesn't matter. They're going along with this little charade and this show for everybody to try to take their time for all these infrastructure in the background to pull up and do what they need to do and stuff to set up their railway so they can make money. Meanwhile, I don't even know, man. Like they're just trying to destroy the U.S. economy, man. Like there's no way around this. Like there's no. I know some people might even not see it this way because they're too busy caught in the so-called fake, the humanitarian efforts, which are completely fake. This stuff has been done. Go look at Nazi Germany. Look at Hitler and socialism. Look at what he was trying to do. Have this and have that and stuff. Yeah, of course he was a racist. He was worried about having a certain species and all this, or certain species. He was the Aryan bloodline, all the other shit. But man, really, that shit was just an excuse for him to be probably a psychopathic killer. And really, it's a social experiment. Seeing, okay, how can we influence the nation? All right, don't do it this way. They already learned that, hey, we know we can't. We try to use the whole race card as far as saying, oh, this race is bad, this group of people are bad. It doesn't work that way. People don't want to come up. People don't want to elevate their economic, social status, and people don't feel good about themselves when they're being racist and being bad. So now what you see in modern time frame in the United States and around the world, what everybody cares about race, everybody cares about sexuality, everybody cares about sexual orientation. We're all trying to be inclusive. It's funny because we're still being exclusive at the same time, but whatever. We're all trying to be, oh no, we care about each other, we care about all this other stuff. So now they're doing the same thing. They saw Nazi Germany, communism, and socialism around the world, except for they're doing now on the premise of humanitarian efforts being all nice. You see with the rise of UN after World War II and all those different things. Oh, we all care about each other. We want one world government. We all live on one planet. Oh, let's take care of the planet. You're lying, man. You're lying. They're doing whatever they need to do to maintain control over the population and maintain power over the resources and the economy. That's it. And when I say they, like I said, you're bankers. You're bankers. And that's the real question is what we all should be really focused on is who's fucking up the world and stuff. But instead, we're too busy looking at each other and stuff, worried about religion, our skin color, who the hell we having sex with in our bed and shit. These are dumb fucking things to worry about. I don't try to. I'm not saying this to try to sound mean or try to criticize anyone's perspective or thoughts. But what I'm saying is, you have to understand, like, it's about the money. It's always been about the money. It always will be about the money as long as the money exists. Every day you wake up, you think about your money. Every day you go to sleep, you think about your money. In the modern world, you're constantly thinking about your money. So if you're constantly thinking about your money from your own individual perspective in your own little average life or wherever your life is, you don't think those who are in positions of so-called perceived power, you don't think they worry about money as well? And they worry about money and from their perspective of perceived power and their position, they're able to affect hundreds of thousands, millions of people's lives and stuff. Meanwhile, they still worry about their money. Oh man, this thing says go administration officials eject. There will be rising inflation. Okay. Let me just. On call with reporters, White House officials said their proposal, if enacted, would contribute to speedy jobs recovery. Ain't nobody going back to work. Well, whatever. Arguing unemployment will fall to 4.7% by the end of 2021. Administration officials projected there will be rising inflation, but only in the short term. You can't just say that, man. That's not a thing. That's not a thing, man. You $6 trillion, bro. Oh my god. Oh god. Republican criticism of the administration has hinged heavily on warnings that the U.S. may face surging inflation as a result of stimulus funds pumped into the economy during the pandemic. I like how they say Republican criticism. Like I said, just world history, man. Pay attention. Like it doesn't take that much. Going on share prosperity. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki defended the budget, saying Biden inherited a deficit from the Trump administration and that the spending is needed to help the economy recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. But isn't that the same narrative that the Trump administration did too as well? Because everybody wanted to shut down, along with Trump included, saying, "Oh yeah, I guess go ahead and shut down." He folded too. Like in this, whether he folded to show everybody a bigger picture or what, doesn't matter. It still was the case. What gets me though is they're saying they inherited a bad economy from Trump, but Biden during his presidential campaign was saying that, oh yeah, the country needs to close down. We need to do this stuff. We need to have 100 days of masks. We need to do all the different things so we can get the country back together and stuff. But he criticized Trump administration for doing it. Whatever, man. I said, it doesn't matter what comes out of these people's mouths. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It says under the final year of the Trump administration, deficit reached 3.1 trillion as tax revenues sank from the economic downturn and spending surged in response to the pandemic. Yeah, but pre-pandemic, when the deficit down, here's the thing too. You going back into the World Health Organization, sending money. We talked about in this podcast with the $1.8 trillion American Relief Fund, all that other stuff, wherever that budget was called, or wherever that proposal thing was called, whatever. You sent money overseas. How does that help America and the country first if you send money overseas? What my parents always told me, you worry about your household first before you try to help someone outside your household, right? Because you can't help nobody if you're struggling yourself. So help yourself, get yourself in a good position in life, then you can help others. When you go on the airplane, what they tell you, put on your mask first before a little oxygen mask, stuff, whatever, doing the safety thing that probably nobody even pays attention to. They tell you, put on your mask first before you try to save someone else. So you can't save someone else if you're struggling yourself. If we're going through the pandemic and we're trying to get the economy back and all this other bullshit, then what are you supposed to do? Focus on the nation itself before you try to help someone else. Yet in these budgeting plans, these infrastructure bills, wherever the fuck you want to call them, they're sending money overseas. Because that makes sense. It says Biden's budget includes his more than $2 trillion infrastructure proposal and $1.8 trillion plan to boost childcare and education spending. Is that really needed right now? In all honesty, is that really needed right now? Because you just spent a past school year where some kids didn't even go to school at all and they were still doing virtual school. So what the fuck we spend money on education for if you only want kids in school? Why are we boosting childcare? If we're in a free economic society, you would pay for school, and I don't know how that would work because I don't even know how that would work because I don't think we ever tried it. I don't know if any society has actually tried it, but how would it work if you all just spend money on school? I heard other people talk about it before, but it just made me think about it. I think Young River 59 kind of brought it up, saying because this is what I think something Ron Paul talks about as well, like pretty much libertarian. When you talk about being in free markets, like if everything is based on money and economy, then it needs to be a free market because money is the only thing that matters and stuff that pushes out these certain products and infrastructures. Then you probably should make sure you focus on the money. You probably should make sure, or not focus on money. You probably should let the money, the market, the consumers, the people that are buying and spending this shit dictate the type of quality of education in which they want to go to. Because if we all pay $20 a month for each kid to go to school, right? Because obviously you're going to have hundreds and thousands of kids at all these other schools. And now, what happens? Does that school provide great education for $20 a month? Or does some other school come in with a better business plan, undercuts the people, another school, and offers better education at a lower cost and price? Now you let the companies compete for your money to spend at their businesses like how it should be. Free, open competition. Because we know human beings thrive on competition, and that's how we elevate our species. Yet, I don't know why that doesn't go to childcare and public and education and stuff, as far as your kindergarten to 12, which I think is stupid too. I don't even think nobody should be going to school for 18 years, man. Like it's kind of wild. Not 18 years, but going from the age of 5 to 18, they should be done by 16. If you drive by 16, you can go to work by 16, then you probably should be done with school by 16. And if you're going to do higher education at that point, then go ahead. But I mean, what happens if you're working at a company at Amazon at 16 and stuff, and you work your way up? Now you ain't got to wait till 60 something to retire. Now you can probably retire around 50, right? Oh, no, they don't want that shit. They don't want that shit, Social Security income and all the other stuff. They want to take your money. Childcare. How come that's just not a free market thing? Plenty of people have childcare and they use their personal homes as residence and stuff, or maybe they rent out a facility, maybe they got another home and stuff, and they use that to run their own daycares. What's wrong with that? Why do you need to boost childcare when people can start their own childcare in their own homes? What the fuck is wrong with that? It takes a village to raise a kid, right? How come every neighborhood doesn't have their own kind of built-in or subdivision, wherever the case may be, have their own built-in childcare facility? What's wrong with that? And you see how easy it is just to sit here and think of different things to do. And some people will say, "Oh, well, you can't do it that way. You can't do it that way." Why? Why can you not do it that way? Why? Do you not have your friends watch your kids sometimes when you go do something? Right? Have you not babysit somebody when you were a kid or you were a teenager or something like that? Have you not babysit a family member, a relative? What is wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. We already do it. But because the government tells us we can't do it because you need a licensing and all this other stuff to watch someone else's kid? No, you don't. All you need is an agreement from that fucking kid's parent to say, "Hey, you watch my kid for the day, I pay you $100. Yeah, no problem. Or I'll pay you $20. If you watch for the week, I'll pay you $100 for one kid. Now you have 5 kids you watch for a week for $100. Guess what? Now you make $500 for the week. Wherever expenses it goes in your own house. Like, why not just have a real, complete, open, free market, capitalistic society? You can't. They can't. Because then they'll show the world how stupid a lot of shit that we do is. It says Biden is currently negotiating his infrastructure plan with Republicans, blah, blah. He don't need them to pass anyway. Biden is recommending a $20 billion boost for schools in low-income areas. What is the money going to do, man? You see how they say, oh, they throw money at the situation thinking money is going to fix everything, but yet they don't really necessarily say how the money is going to make stuff better. Like, what does having more money thrown at low-income area schools do? I don't understand. In my city, there's some academies and stuff in the so-called low-income areas. And they're some of the nicest schools. And are they state funded? I mean, all schools are state funded in a way, anyways. But all the best schools you ever seen in your life have been what? Private schools. And majority of the private schools have been Christians. And if most of the private schools being Christians, I probably would have sent. I find some way to pay for my kids to go to private school. I'm not gonna lie. I'll find some way to pay for my kids to go to private school, or see if they can get a scholarship. It's things I still look into. They're at a decent school now. They're at a choice school anyway, so it's not necessarily state funded. I think it's more federally funded or something like that. But man, I think about it often. Like, man, if my bank account was good enough, I probably would send my kids to private school. Hell, they have an athletic academy. I think IMG. Not IMG. Shit, it is IMG, which I think is an investment bank too. Whatever. I think it is IMG. They have an athletic academy school somewhere on the west coast of Florida. I think somewhere like St. Pete, Sarasota area, somewhere down there. So it kind of makes me think when we were talking about putting money towards low income area schools and all this other stuff. It's like, is it actually going to do anything? Or are you just throwing money at the problem because it sounds good? And how we know that money is going to go to those facilities and those schools? Were you going to give them all iPads? Like, were you going to boost up the place and make the food better? Like, what can you actually do that money will fix when you're talking about education? Because is it about the education Is it about the money in the facilities, or is it about what is being taught? Because, like I said earlier, if no one is teaching these kids about money and responsibility and stuff like that, I mean, the parents responsible for that anyways, but the parents don't do that, and you going to school, they ain't learning shit. They ain't learning shit, man. You ever pay attention to your kids, the homework assignments, so that, or if you don't have kids, maybe your younger siblings, whatever the case may be, pay attention to what they're learning shit throughout the year. It's a lot of nothing. There's a lot of nothing. Even my kids have already recognized the cycle of how much they don't fucking learn that. They spend the first half of the year back in school relearning the shit that they just learned at the end of the last year of school. And then the second half year of school, they learn something new. But then also, they also damn, I keep saying also. I don't know why I keep saying also. They also, all right, they also learn, or they get information to take the standardized test. So somewhere in between there, through the whole school year, they might learn something a little bit that's new. And then the next grade, they keep repeating the same shit over. And you say, oh, well, because with kids, you gotta keep showing the same things over and over and over. That way they understand how it is they learn and stuff like that. I was like, nah, that's not necessarily the case. Kids, human beings in general, learn from experience. You put everybody in some type of real world situation, survival skills, instincts kick in, and you'll remember everything in the long term. I was telling my son, like, when it comes to, I was talking about military training because we were watching a movie on Netflix. I think it was Army of the Dead. And I was showing him how the MRAP vehicle is. I was talking about the convoy. It's all messed up. That's not how a real convoy would go. And I sat there and forgot I even went through convoy training. That's why I know what I'm talking about. and I was talking about I drove an MRAP vehicle, and I was talking about the training. I was like, hey, man, you know what? You don't realize, a lot of people don't know this, but we're talking about military training. Ain't no training, man. Someone stands up there, talks for a few hours with a PowerPoint slideshow presentation, and all of a sudden, bam, you're trained. So we had a training session for learning how to drive the MRAP vehicle and one of the other vehicles, just armored vehicles to handle convoy duty. We have IED explosion stuff, to support vehicles, carry passengers and cargo in the back or whatever. And I remember it was me and then these two other majors, and they were medical officers. We were laughing. I thought it was funny. Because we were all just kind of sitting there like, oh my God, you can't teach us this stuff, man. Just put us in the vehicle. We'll figure it out. Like, just show us inside the vehicle. He was like, oh, you got to show you guys PowerPoint first, you know. And then after the PowerPoint, and it was like, okay, hopefully you guys made it through and everybody didn't fall asleep. And I looked at them, they looked at me, we all looked at each other, and we was like, man, was anybody awake? I was like, man, I was asleep, man. I can't. Yeah, I can't. Y'all killing me sitting here talking and stuff, man. And I was like, people were like, yeah, we was asleep too. They were like, man, whatever, man. It's just a vehicle. We'll figure it out when we get in there. And that's how we took the training. We got in the vehicle. I was like, some buttons in here. Point, click. Touchscreen button, like turn on this, pop, and press gas, brake, and let's go. Like, fuck it, man. Like, shit. You wasted a whole day. You just put me in a fucking vehicle. I'll figure this shit out. And then we drive around a little trail out in the woods and stuff like that. Like, man, who cares? Just put me in the vehicle, figure the rest of shit out. Because the best way to learn is hands-on. So when we talk about the education system, throwing money at it, what is that actually going to do? Then give teachers like, oh, well, we need better supplies for this. We need better. And I understand what they're talking about from their perspective, because that's the perspective of what they're seeing. But I'm talking about, you got to look at it from the bigger perspective of the species. How do people actually learn? You can teach anybody anything when you put them in a situation and they're forced to learn. Not necessarily life or death, but when the circumstances are real, right? You put someone on a job, guess what? They learn how to do that job in a couple of weeks. Wanna know why? Because their financial life is on the line. They know, hey, I got this job, and I don't learn how to do this shit. They're gonna fire my ass, and I'm not getting paid. You'll be surprised how much you can pick up real fast when you're forced into a situation. You gotta learn something real quick. You might not know how to fly a plane, but it was a life or death situation, and they threw you in front of in the cockpit, and someone's there saying, hey, trying to help you out and stuff. You'll learn how to fly a plane. And you think it's crazy, but you'd be surprised how much When it's time to really focus and learn something, you will focus and learn something. But when school is drawn out for all these years and stuff, as a kid, as an adult, and even in college, you're like, man, fuck it. I'll figure it out whenever I figure it out. I got plenty of time. So to go back to the whole money being thrown at it, what is that going to do for anybody, man? What is that going to do? Nothing, bro. It's nothing because it's all about communism. That's what it's all about. I have one other article to share. I thought it was funny. So it's from New York Post. Shit. No, I'm trying to not play this commercial and it just will play. It's funny that it's Kaiser University and that's where I went to and graduated from. That's not creepy at all. Nope. So this says world's largest meat processor, JBS Foods, hit by cyber attack. I just wanted to point out this article because in the past couple of weeks, had all these cyber attacks. In the past year, had cyber attacks on infrastructure, electrical grids, cyber attacks on was it a cyber attack on electrical grid? I feel like it was. Your so-called election campaign, cyber attacks there, or election in general. I call the U.S. election, cyber attacks there, stuff like that. Obviously, we had the gas line, gas pipeline cyber attack that happened recently that had the gas prices go up and stuff. So you're seeing the great reset happen in front of your eyes. The overhaul infrastructure. Your so-called gas and stuff, they don't want that anymore. They want greener things. They're just trying to go to something different that they can have a better control over. Because gas, oil, we know all that lies in the Middle East, stuff like that. They're trying to go away from those things. And it's interesting because to go from a cyber attack, something like that, and now we already know that you check out some of my videos on YouTube and Odyssey, I think maybe past podcast episodes, they're talking about beef and cows and stuff and how too much carbon being emitted and methane is being emitted from animals and the factories and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, one of your world's largest food supplies of beef has a cyber attack. What the, like, they really think we're this stupid that it just happen to be such a random coincidence. Oh, it's right here on the side, Colonial Pipeline, cybersecurity. So you really, all these years, all of a sudden, bam, a cyber attack and it fucks up the beef supply. So it says the world's largest meat supply, JBS Foods, has been crippled by a cyber attack. The company announced the latest hit to an already rattled supply chain that sent food costs soaring at grocery stores and restaurants. JBS said Monday evening that it shuts its North American and Australian IT networks down after the company realized Sunday it had been hit by a cyber attack. Quote, the company is not aware of any evidence at this time that any customer, supplier, or employee data has been compromised or misissued as a result of the situation. Then what the fuck was a cyber attack for? Don't say ransomware, because that's bullshit. JBS said in the statement, resolution of the incident will take time, which may delay certain transactions with customers and suppliers. The company has felt an immediate impact from the attack, halting all of its beef and lamb kills across Australia, according to the industry site Beef Central. Bloomberg News reported that some shifts have also been canceled in the U.S. and Canada, citing union officials. So you got to think about the long-term and short-term ramification of this incident as far as the cyber attack. You got to think, is this intentional? Is somebody trying to attack a third-party agent trying to attack the beef supply stuff, maybe for ransomware, maybe for money, or whatever the case may be? Or is this an inside job, just another smokescreen? Because this seems smokescreen. I know I'm always seem like I'm conspiratorial because, well, everything is conspiratorial. Like, everybody's conspiring to do fucking something. I don't know why that seems like a shock to people when they hear the term conspiracy theory. I guess the propaganda machine behind the term conspiracy theory did its job. But it's not a shock. Everyone's conspiring to do something at every fucking time of the day, all day, every day. That's nothing new. Right now, my son is asleep, and he's sitting there plotting, trying to figure out how and when we're going to go. I'm taking to the park, we're going to play basketball and stuff like that, and he wants to invite his friend and stuff. So he's sitting there planning out, trying to how he's going to get all that figured out and stuff. Conspiring, right? He's sitting there planning. Everyone is planning something. Take the word conspire out. If they actually called it what it was, a plausible or planning session. Everyone has plans involved, or everyone has plans in place rather to do something, and that's what it comes down to. People are planning to do these certain things around the world, whether it's an individual level, whether it's a large, grander scale level, it doesn't matter. Everyone is planning to do something within the next year, within the next 5 years, within the next 10 years. There's plans amongst plans amongst plans amongst plans. A lot. I'm not gonna lie. Some people, I want to say a lot, but maybe a lot. People, there's not much going on upstairs in their head, so they don't really plan nothing out like that. But those who understand the world and those who acquire knowledge and those who have wisdom know that you have to plan out everything because you can't get nothing done without a plan. You just can't. You just can't. When you're talking about something that's very impactful on your life or impactful on the lives of people around you, you got to have some type of plan in place. So it says the cyber attack comes just weeks after the operator of the biggest U.S. oil pipeline. Blah blah. We already knew that. Russia group. Yeah, well, no fucking Russia group. They can't. This whole Russia shit is stupid, man. They get on my nerves with this. It says the attacks on JBS threatens to further stifle an industry that's already struggling to keep up with demand. And so I said they've been attacking the beef anyways. They want us to all eating fucking Impossible burgers at Burger King and shit. I'm not eating a fucking Impossible Whopper. You kiss my ass. I don't eat Whoppers anyways, but still. But they want us to have all this processed meat, all these other different things. So what do you gotta do if you want to bring in this GMO artificial meat? You got to take down the leading infrastructure, the leading company and stuff around the cattle and meat food supply or beef food supply. Once you take those down, then you can move in and do other things. I mean, it's that simple, man. That's the art of war. Like, if you're trying to get something done and this entity or something is in your way, guess what? You got to find a way to take it down and not have it be tied back to you. It's a brilliant plan. It's so brilliant because no one pays attention to shit like this, right? No one sees this. I look here and see, ain't no fucking coincidence. All of a sudden, this place, another huge infrastructure, another big supplier, another place that will have that will affect a lot of people if it goes down. This happens, a cyber attack. And like cyber attack, like what is a cyber attack? What is a cyber attack? You have a DDoS, which is uh, distributed denial of service. So basically, just send a bunch of like I want to say website requests to kind of flood the servers, and the servers can't respond in time and stuff. And then the network just kind of gets clogged up and stuff, and it's, in a sense, just kind of shuts down. I'm loosely explaining that. Like, do your own research, look it up. Explaining IT terms is annoying because they take regular traditional American English vocabulary, vernacular, and then they switch it up and they use the same terms, but then the shit don't make sense. It's annoying to me, but whatever. So just to say, oh, it's a cyber attack. Like, oh, did they get any information? It's a cyber attack, yet nobody got any data. It's a cyber attack, so what? They just want to shut every fucking thing down. For what reason? It says JBS representatives did not immediately return the post request for information. JBS Sao Paulo-based parent company recorded about 75 billion in sales in the first quarter of 2021, with operations making up about whatever. So nothing even comes out of that, right? Nothing even comes out of that. But they don't care because they don't want nobody to eat beef anyways. They want you to eat their genetically modified fake meat, their clone chicken meat. I talked about it on one episode. I think it was one episode. No, I think it was I did a video on YouTube and Odyssey about the fake meat. Actually, I did an episode about the food as well too on the podcast. It all goes together, man. I'm telling you, I always reference my past episode because it all goes together. You gotta keep paying attention, and I'm just trying to share information that I'm seeing because there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of fucking distractions, right? There's a lot of distractions. And I feel like the distractions, I don't know if they're gonna turn up even more or what, because for as long as they use celebrities and movies and Hollywood and the sports world to distract us, but going last year without it, so we all realized, fuck it, we don't need it anyways. Then now we all start realizing, well, shit, everything sucks. NBA isn't what it used to be. I mean, no defense is being played. I gotta watch playoff games where the score is 146 or 126. What the fuck? That's not basketball, bro. Nobody should be scoring almost 150 fucking points in a goddamn NBA playoff game. The struggle should be real. The competitiveness should be real. The fight should be real. I don't care if one team has so-called more star powers than the other. Everybody gets paid millions of dollars to put the ball in the basket. Play at your best performance level. And so the quality of NBA basketball, the quality of sports and everything is going down and stuff. The fucking movies suck. So now everybody's like, what the fuck? Where are they looking? Where are they looking to? Where are they listening to? What do they have to distract them? Now's the time where I would think everybody is starting to pay more attention to what's going on as far as world policies or world regulations, fucked up rules that they're trying to make and laws that they're trying to make and stuff. Everybody pay attention to the economy and the money and the markets and these different infrastructures. This is what matters. Hell, and this is exciting. To me, this is more interesting than anything because you're going to tell me a random cyber attack happens and JBS, the world's largest meat supplier, like a month or two after the whole the gas pipeline, the Colonial Pipeline cyber attack. Like, hey, there's some wild shit going on, man. I don't know what type of summer it's gonna be, but it's gonna be very interesting, man. I hope you got hope you paying attention and hope you always got some money set aside somewhere for who knows. Market crash, housing market crash, dollar crash, inflation's through the roof. And that's not a fear thing. I don't want nobody misconstrue my message. I'm not trying to scare nobody. These are not fearful things because there's nothing to be afraid of. If you're paying attention and you're doing your research and you're understanding what's going on and you attain some knowledge, you would be worried about this shit. Like, I'm not worried about none of this stuff. It's not gonna bother me. It's not gonna bother me because I already set myself up to get my food supply from certain places and stuff. Get my meat supply from certain places. Right? My money. I already know what to do with the money. So I'm not worried about the dollar going down, maybe the housing market going down, none of that stuff. I'm not worried about those things. I know I'm trying to do as much research as I can to know what will survive, what won't survive, and stuff like that. So when the change happens, it ain't gonna be shocking to me, and it ain't gonna be some type of narrative that throws me off or anything. I'll be like, hey, where y'all been at? This has been going on. This is nothing new. Always do your own research, man. Pay attention. Today, Tuesday. I'll be back on tomorrow for the podcast. Time is whatever. Just check out the notifications. If you follow my blog, Damian Jackson, DAMIN, Jackson22.com. I will upload it. I put up the updates and when I'm going to do the podcast, when I'm going to have the blog up and stuff like that. Or when I'm going to have the blog up. When I'm going to do the podcast and when I'm not going to do the podcast and stuff like that. And then follow me on social media, my Twitter, my Gab and stuff. You can find those links on my blog site. I've been kind of sporadic lately. Got stuff going on in my own personal life and things I'm doing and stuff. And then kids are out of school too, so gotta do stuff with them and whatnot. And as they're running off with their friends, and I gotta drive around and stuff. So it's gonna be an interesting summer, but fun nonetheless. And I'm glad that they'll be doing activities and not having to worry about we can't go to the fucking park and take a walk outside in nature because shit is closed down for no fucking reason. Oh, because of COVID and viruses. Which is interesting too because you know what? Nah, I'm gonna save those topics for tomorrow. So yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. There's some other topics I want to talk about. I'll wait for tomorrow to talk about those things and something to do with the economy, something to do with another so-called virus being out there. There's always something going on in the world, man. All do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Now's the time where I say all that good shit. Blah, blah, blah. So until next time.